In this video, we're going to talk about question number 3 in the organizational profile, P1A3, the workforce profile. If you remember from the bronze application, the workforce profile question was really made up of just simply 3 questions. What is your workforce group? What are your workforce employee groups and segments? What are the key drivers that engage them? And tell us if you're experiencing any kind of workforce changes or challenges with your workforce. That was in the bronze application. It is changed in the silver application. First, it's asking you to give us a statement. What is your workforce profile? This is a statement question. We're looking for you to tell us something about your workforce. Here at the Standard Health and Rehab, our workforce is made up of, and then just give a brief description. It could be male to female ratios. It could be about how far away they have to drive. Like, we're in a small suburb, and so our workforce comes from various backgrounds, comes from far distances. Most of our employees are this, most of our employees are that. Give us a small little tiny 2-3 sentence paragraph of a statement about your workforce, made up of skilled labor, unskilled labor, licensed labor, non-licensed labor. Like, just give us a brief little snapshot of your workforce right now. Just kind of give us a workforce profile. And then we're going to ask you to put it in a table. Then you can put it in a table. What is your workforce employee groups? What are the key drivers of engagement? And with the number of employees. And so this is a table that you are familiar with from the bronze application, because it's the same kind of thing that we went over in the bronze. Simply workforce groups. Here, you could say the administrator, the DON, RNs, LPNs, CNAs, STNAs, or housekeepers, dietary, facility maintenance, business office people. You could do all that. However, it might be better to say clinical staff, support staff, maybe business office, or administrative staff. Maybe administrative staff would be better. Admin staff, right? So you can break it down to just 3 kind of workforce groups, and then you can give us this question here. Number of employees is, let me just make sure I'm not wrong. Yeah, the number of employees, I think actually you don't have to put that in here. Was that part of the bronze? Yeah. You don't have to put that in here. And in fact, I should probably take that part of it out. That is an old requirement from an old application. They change the applications every 2 years, and this is an upgrade year, so there are some changes. So I might not have caught that symbol 1. So don't worry about the number of employees, but workforce groups, and then the key drivers of engagement. Now, just keep in mind, you wrote this already for the bronze. Think selfish. Selfish. That's what gets them going. What are your employees looking for? They're looking for consistent work. They're looking for a flexible schedule. They're looking for competitive pay. They're looking for good benefits. They're looking for opportunities for growth, opportunities for advancement, that kind of thing. So those are the key drivers of engagement. And then we're going to be talking about what key changes are you experiencing in your workforce? And these are 2 words we are going to see again. We're going to see these words again in section 5, section 5.1, maybe 5.2, where we start asking about capacity and capability. What key changes are you experiencing in your workforce capability? This is know-how. And this is the number, how many. So the first question is, are you experiencing any, the real question is, are you? Not, it says what are the key changes you're experiencing. It assumes you are experiencing, but you could not be. You could honestly say, you know what? I can't think of any changes that we've experienced over the last year and a half. And you can answer it like that. You can say, at the Standard Health and Rehab, we have not experienced any key changes or significant changes in our workforce capability or capacity. It's totally relevant. If it's true, you can totally write that down. Most of us, of course, have had a lot of problems with staffing over the last year or year and a half. And so this question would look a little different. What we would say, at the Standard Health and Rehab, some key changes that we are experiencing in our workforce capability is our residents are coming in with more complex wounds, higher acuity level, and our nurses are not quite educated to the point where they can handle the heavy workload, and so the skill level. So we are having to offer more and more educational opportunities and seek outside help for educational opportunities because the know-how, the capability of our current nursing staff is not where it needs to be. That would be a relevant thing to say if it's true. When it comes to capacity, we're talking about staffing shortages. We're saying, one of the key changes that we're experiencing here at the Standard Health and Rehab is there is a real shortage of nursing staff. And so even though we have a down census, we want to our goal is to add 10 more people to our census. Quite honestly, we don't even have the staff to take care of 10 more people. So we are having a workforce capacity issue in that we're having some real challenges finding nurses to come to work for us. That would be another example of a way to answer the question. Again, it talks directly about capacity. Finally, again, this is still only question 3. There's a bunch of questions in question 3. Finally, what key changes are you experiencing in your workforce composition? This composition part means, when you made that workforce statement in the beginning of this question, you're like, our workforce is made up of skilled people and unskilled labor. And we live in, our home is centered in a very rural community. And so the travel or transportation to and from our center for our staff has always been a challenge, and it's just getting even worse. Like that could be a change, a key. Key means most important. Just want to keep thinking about that. Every time you see the word key, think most important. What are the key changes? And again, if you said one thing, you'd get credit for it. If you said 2 things, you'd get credit for it. You don't need more than 1. I wouldn't put more than 3 when you're answering a question like this and you're trying to come up with key changes that you're experiencing in your workforce composition. Again, maybe, like you just said, the nurses are not coming to us with enough experience or skill level, or we're not getting enough of them, or we have some transportation issues. We've always had transportation issues. This could be the way to answer what key changes, most important changes you're experiencing in your workforce composition. That is P1A3. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. There's 6 questions in P1A3. What is your workforce profile? It's a statement. What are your workforce employee segments, groups and segments? What are the key drivers you engage them? Again, throw it in the table. It makes it a lot easier. What are the key changes that you're experiencing as far as capability, your nursing staff's capability? What about your nursing staff's capacity, or all your staff's capacity? Or do you have enough staff? And are there any other key changes that you're experiencing in your workforce makeup, composition, your makeup, in your makeup? All right. Question 4.